Hey everyone, and welcome to CNET's The Fix,
The show about DIY tech and how-to.
I'm Eric Franklin.
I'm Donald Bell.
And this week we have some tips and tricks for all you budding photographers out there.
Yeah, we're going to focus on DSLRs. We're going to start off with some tips on choosing the right lens for your camera.
If you're a DSLR owner, the lens that came with your camera is great for getting started. But eventually, you will grow out of it. So if you're ready to purchase a new lens, I have a few recommendations on exactly how to go about it. Hands down, my favorite lens is the 50mm 1.8 fixed lens. It's great for portraits, food photos, and still life. It is a prime lens or fixed lens, so it doesn't zoom, which means you'll have to get really close to your subject in order to frame up. But the trade-off is huge. It's a fast lens with a wide aperture, which means super sharp photos even in low light. The best part is that it's only $100, and that's about as cheap as it gets. When you're shopping for a portrait lens, what you want is a lens that won't distort your subject. You want the person to look like they do to the human eye. You also want that really cool blurry background effect. On a full-size sensor camera, like the Canon 5D, get a lens with a focal length of 80mm to 100mm. On a crop sensor camera, like this one, that translates to about 50mm. If you want to go any shorter than 50mm, your subject will start to look a little too stretched out, so stick with this range. For food photography, you don't necessarily need a zoom lens. Instead, go with a prime lens like the 35mm 1.4. At this focal length, the shots will be just wide enough to get a crisp photo of an entire plate of food without distorting it. Since it's fixed, you will have to move around to get closer or wider, but really, that's a part of the intimacy of food photography. When you're traveling, there's a good chance you'll want a lens that'll take great landscape photos, letting you capture wide, sweeping shots of whatever exotic place you're in. If you have to choose one lens to take with you on a trip, the 18 to 35mm 1.8 is the way to go. At its widest, you'll get great sweeping views of landscape, and it's still great for close-ups of food and portraits of people. All around, this is a great go-to lens.
I could seriously geek out on lenses all day long.
You are seriously geeking out right now.
I know, I have to save myself from it though. I pretty much just shoot with a 50mm prime for all my stuff.
No, it sounds like a good lens.
All right, when we come back, we're gonna show you how to photograph your favorite four-legged friends during that split second where they're actually standing still.
Welcome back.
Everybody loves cute photos of cute pets.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah.
You sure it's not everyone loves cute photos of cute kids?
Check the internet, it's pets.
Okay. All right, fine. But it's not always that easy to take photos of pets, right?
No. You gonna stay here for me? You gonna stick around? What do you think? No? Maybe these guys.
Yeah, so we got some insider tips that'll help you do just that.
We love our pets like they're our little furry children, but unlike a real kid, pets don't really want to sit down and stay put for a while while you take their picture. So how do you get a great pet photo with the DSLR? Well, I'm going to show you some universal tips. First off, make sure you dial in all your camera settings before you take the shot. You're going to need to act quick to get some good photos, and dogs and cats aren't going to want to sit still for you while you're fiddling around with your ISO, much less have time to focus on your shot. And this is the frustration of pet photography right here. This is why it takes a lot of patience and time. How about you? Sit down, that's cold dirt. There you go. So here's some tips for settings you're gonna wanna make ahead of time. For example, let's say I wanna take a nice close-up portrait of their face. I want their eyes to be in really sharp focus, and I'd like the background to be nice and soft. To do that, I'm gonna put my camera into aperture priority mode, and then I'm gonna open that aperture all the way up. In this case, it's a f-stop of a 1.8. I also recommend turning off your flash because not only is it going to possibly spook your pets, but it's also going to give them red eye. Another setting I recommend changing is your autofocus setting. You should keep autofocus on for the sake of speed, but instead of it being an intelligent focus or a multi-point focus that might zero in on their snout, you want to have a single point focus so you can really point at their eyes and get that tight focus on the eyes. It's key. I'm looking at those eyes, really trying to use the autofocus to get in on the eyes. Finally, I recommend putting your camera into a burst mode or a continuous shooting mode instead of a single shot. A great pet photo is like a needle in a haystack of 100 photos you're gonna take, so just go for quantity. Take a bunch of shots. Oh, that's a good one. The tongue just hanging out there. Floppy tongue. And I think I got some great ones here. Yes, yes, it's a tasty ear. I shouldn't have put that peanut butter behind my ear this morning. All right, the rest really just comes down to patience and experimentation. You can try a few different environments. If they're looking sad, you can take them out on a walk or try to engage them in something they like to do. Hopefully, with any luck, by the end of the day, you'll have a few different shots worth framing.
Dude, that was so adorable. You were having the time of your life out there.
It was a really hot day, but the dogs were being super cute. Big thanks to our friends at Wags on Poke for letting us photograph their dogs. For something totally different, we're gonna show you how to use a tablet or a smartphone to remotely control your DSLR.
Yeah, you don't even need to be behind the camera to trigger it. It's awesome. If you have a DSLR camera, you know it can take some pretty amazing photos. But if you're looking for even more options with the ability to take remote snapshots, we've got a cool device we think you should check out. It's called TriggerTrap. It's compatible with both Canon and Nikon cameras. It costs $25 for this dongle. You connect one end to your iOS or Android device and the other to your DSLR camera. Then you download the free TriggerTrap app. TriggerTrap lets you control many of the functions of your camera on your mobile device in a simplified, unique, and fun way. First, you need to make sure that your camera settings are appropriate for the shot you're trying to accomplish. Let's say you want to take some cool action shots. You can use the time-lapse feature to accomplish that. It's not something your camera can't do on its own, but it's a lot easier here. Open time-lapse, select the amount of time between each shot, click OK, and press the big red button, and it starts. Photos will be taken until you stop it. One of my favorite features is Sound Sensor, which uses your mobile device's microphone to initiate a shot from your camera. Basically, you turn it on, and if there's loud enough sound, like this clap, you get the shot immediately. This is an excellent way to get yourself in pictures without having to worry about a timer. You can even customize it to delay the shot by a few seconds to make sure you strike the perfect pose. These are just a few of the options available on TriggerTrap. There are plenty more. Have fun exploring it. It's a really great way to utilize the power of your smartphone to get more interesting shots with your camera.
That's it for this week's show.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
We'd love to hear your thoughts about how we're doing, what you'd like to see next. You can send us anything you want. Send us your dog photos. You can reach me at Donald on Twitter.
You can reach me at Needopal.
Look forward to hearing from you. See you next time.
Bye.